verse 14. Remember, this whole last chapter deals with relationships that Paul encountered, but I want to, for the sake of time, I want to go straight to this one. I've been referencing it periodically over our last 5 weeks. It says, look at this, Alexander the coppersmith did me much harm. May the Lord repay him according to his works. Now this is powerful because I'm going to show you who he was in a second. One translation says this. This is powerful. One translation says, Alexander the coppersmith showed bitter hostility towards me. Now I want to pause for a second because the reason why I'm so excited about this series is not to bring up bad memories, but for so many of us, we've been in situations where something has just exploded or it's come out of left field, and sometimes it can leave you kind of disoriented. It can leave you kind of wobbling. And I've been saying this will be my 4th week saying this, but I hope you get it, that part of your spiritual warfare is when the enemy incites people against you. You better wake up and realize that that's part of your reality. And it doesn't mean you write them off all the time, but it means that you want to be forewarned, that you want to be astute, that you want to recognize that what's happening to you is not a coincidence. There's some cases where because of our behavior and our conduct, our work ethic, character flaws, we bring persecution or we bring things on ourselves. That's one category. But then there's a whole other category where there's spiritual warfare being used against you, right, Joseph? There's a whole other category where the enemy's trying to get you before you have the roots to fight back, right? Every Israel boy who was 2 years old and younger. There are times when he wants to use his resources to nullify you before you have the roots to stabilize yourself, right? Every male child born during the time of Jesus who was 2 years old and younger. There are times when he knows because of your future, he's got in wind of your future, and he wants to destroy you as early as possible, right? Daniel as a Hebrew teenager. It says, but Daniel purposed in his heart not to compromise. You look at the life of David. There's story after story where, and this is important, this is a word for you if you're in this room, there's story after story where the enemy wants to get you in your infantile stage. And I'm not talking 2 to 3 to 4 years old. I'm talking the beginning years of your marriage. I'm talking the beginning years of your business. I'm talking the beginning years of you pursuing your assignment. I'm talking the beginning days of you start setting out with a new resolve. If you've ever done any agriculture, you'll notice the topsoil is often the hardest. Someone says, all hell is breaking out against me. Welcome to the beginning days of your new season. So there are times a part of your spiritual warfare. I mean, I wish I could tell you another gospel, but just look at it. Read Nehemiah. When they were rebuilding the wall, these cats, Sanballat and Tobias, they just came against. They were angry at them because all they were trying to do was rebuild something from out of rubble. And you remember Nehemiah chapter 6. They tried to get him to come down and said, "Let's have a meeting on the plains of Ono." He said, "I can't come down. I'm doing a great work." When you're doing a great work, people want you to come down. And you better be astute enough to realize when they're pulling the okie doke on you. All throughout the book, when they were trying to rebuild the temple, there was opposition. Opposition is part of your biography. That's why there are verses like, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. In this world there'll be tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. There's no man, Mark 10, who's left houses, land, brother's sake for for the sake of the gospel who won't receive 100-fold now in this present time. That gets people running. That gets people cheering. But then they don't finish reading in this present age with persecution. This is a sidebar, but you watch how hard people fight against the supernatural. Why? Because it's a tangible sign of God's power. And it's amazing how people will fight against it. So this guy, Alexander the Coppersmith, showed bitter hostility towards me. Now, who was Alexander? Turn to 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 18. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 18. Who was Alexander? Here's a guy who Paul said shown great hostility towards me.